so badly wish that I wasn't working in a startup right now.
100%. You know, I believe in number and data, right?
Yeah.
Then I told you that 10% only startups succeeded last 20 years.
Since pre-K, I am, whatever the money I have, I am investing you. And I want to see my son has some position, that study job, then I don't need to worry about like he doesn't have a money in the next week.
Okay.
Your parents doesn't have a house, and your parents doesn't have any study job or, you know, any money in the bank, so I
know. I know that I am on my
so
own.
That this is the reason
I am
is
very,
just worry, okay?
I'm
Nothing
very
else.
intimately aware of this fact.
When you're gonna go in that company, then everybody will think you're a loser.
Do you think that people should do what makes them happy?
No.
You want those t-shirts?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes. My dad's argument is that startups are something that people of wealth and privilege get to do, because if they're unemployed, there's a safety net that can catch them. That's not supposed to be possible for me. I am not from a background that gets to do these things. They are pretty adamant on me joining some sort of biotech pharmaceutical corporation because I have a biomedical engineering degree from Johns Hopkins. And so I need to be that much more successful in order for this risk to pay off.
غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Time to go.
Yeah. Alright. Drive safe.
Not an easy road. It's probably the hardest thing you guys will ever have to do. Some of your companies are going to struggle. A majority of startups don't work out. You're going to have to become engines of your own growth and development. If you end up being able to come to grips with some of these challenges, you'll become capable of pretty much anything you want.
Detroit, let's go!
I am going to Detroit to work for Bonza, a chickpea pasta company.
What up, what up? First night in the apartment. A lot of potential here.
I went to Cornell, and everyone from Cornell is always like, all right, there's a few options. It's either consulting or banking in New York, or maybe big tech out in Silicon Valley. So going to Detroit was kind of a shock to most people.
How's it going? Pretty good.
Bonza was started by a 2012 Venture for America fellow, Brian Rudolph.
And his brother, Scott.
I've never built a company before. I'm 24 years old, and there are a lot of things that are new to me. So certainly often feel like I'm in over my head. I think I'm getting better at it. But it's there are times where it's really tough.
I'm a little worried, like, oh, what's gonna happen? All right, 90-something% of startups fail. It would suck to fail, but I'm just gonna make it my #1 priority not to.
My current title at Detroit Labs is Junior Developer. Detroit Labs is still like a startup. They taught me how to code. There are not enough coders here in Detroit, and they're very dedicated to training people. There's this thing that happens when you learn to code. When you first start out, it seems really easy. This isn't that hard, you know, you've got it under control, and this is so fun. And then you start to realize it's also the entire architecture of code, how your app interacts with the internet, and how your app interacts with surveys and app ratings and sharing on Facebook. Coding is really hard. And for someone who's used to being, you know, good at school and life, maybe not life, but at least school, to be so bad at something, it's been hard and sometimes really demotivating to be the worst one on the team.
It's my birthday, and I just turned 22. What a strange milestone. To be older than 21 and not really, to be too old to be a child and then to be too young to actually understand what's going on in life. Am I taking a birthday shot? Are you, what? I'm too old for that now. Now I'm a grown-up. I take shots of espresso. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and it makes me extremely nervous. It's so uncomfortable.
I went to college at MIT, and I studied mechanical engineering, and I just moved to Detroit. As of right now, I am pretty stressed about being in a new place, being far from my family and all my best friends, and just being in a completely new environment.
I work for Rock Ventures, and Rock Ventures is a company that invests in nonprofits
and startups
across Detroit. A lot of the projects that I work on are confidential, and so I can't really talk about what they are, not even to my friends, which is so hard. But what I do is I look at investments and make sure that they are still supporting Detroit's entrepreneurial ecosystem.
Hey, how you doing? Pretty good.
I'm really trying to prove myself because I'm so new and I don't want to drop the ball.
In school, there are metrics, and you know, there's an equation and you solve for X, and that's what you do, but now there's no more of that. You kind of just figure it out, whatever that means.
So I'm still trying to figure out, like, if I'm ever gonna hit my stride and feel like I'm fully competent at what I'm doing.
Yeah. The nature of what we do is extremely project-based.
Right.
So you'll hit your stride in a certain project, and then a project ends, and you're like, crap, I'm on to the next project, and now I feel again like I don't know what I'm doing. But it's part of the cool pieces about being here, to know that you play a piece in the ecosystem.
I'm excited to see
The direct impact from like what happens here and is on your plate, and then what you see out in the city. Just doing things that will really like sway, you know, how the city's gonna look in a couple years.